You're too proud of yourself?
I'm pretty proud of this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hunchback of Notre Throat.
How you doing?
Not as good as you, apparently.
I know a lot of people have wanted to see me on my knees, and that moment has...
Wow.
Yep. But I am not supplicating before the Church of Apple. Instead, at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, it looks, for everything it's gone through.
Good. It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, go around the back. The situation changes dramatically. So
yeah, we were say that for about a lot of us.
That's true. Yeah, at a certain age, that's true of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rough looking, unfortunately. But yeah, it looks good from the front.
It's kind of a mullet, I guess, maybe, right? I don't know. Samsung had a blowout quarter. Google had a blowout quarter. We're assuming Apple will have a blowout quarter. When does Apple report earnings, actually?
I don't know. I was thinking we're going to escalate right from the mid 60s with Google and Samsung to what, the 80s, 90s above. I don't know, with Apple, and then the 100 and somethings with Amazon.
What? Somehow a website already has a live blog up for their earnings 2 hours ago. So, okay, so Apple reports earnings today.
Today? Oh, good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I bought a phone, so I'm assuming that everybody else on the planet did, and they're going to blow it through the roof, and
I think that's a fair assessment.
I know me saying I bought a phone is an end value of 1, but it seemed like this upgrade cycle was a little bit more aggressive than potentially some in the past from what Apple and the carriers were offering. So,
yeah, I think they ghosted a little bit because this should be like an S-year type situation, but I think it's going to be better than that.
Yeah. And I will say the cameras are pretty good. I mean, they're not either, whatever. They're good. That's about, I mean.
Yep. That's all we expect.
I mean, at this point, I still get a little baffled that if you think you can buy this camera and not take blurry photos, I have some news and a lot of photos to show you, because it is still, portrait mode is still not, I don't use it very often because I end up with blurry photos of my kid, which should be not blurry, but whatever.
So I have a feeling that a lot of the stuff that Google announced for the Pixel 6 series, Magic Eraser and whatever the other stuff was, just fall into that same category. Sometimes it's going to be really good, and sometimes it's going to be like, what the? That's okay.
It just looks like you're laying on like a pool raft, just floating through the center of Paris.
Yeah, there's I guess we'll call it a bench, for lack of a better term, that the phone is resting against a metal fence of a sort. And I'm on my knees on my jacket because the ground here is hard concrete. Can you hear the awesome European style siren, or is that blocked out?
No, it's blocked out, actually.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
it's a bad sound.
Yeah. There's also a new MSA settings interface in the latest build of Windows 11. If anybody's been not upgrading because of the MSA interface, maybe
that's what's going to trigger the next round of upgrades.
Yeah.
Well, I've always wondered why that wasn't in there. If you click on any of the MSA stuff in settings today, you'll go to the web. So that's all.
Speaking of Windows 11, Thrap, you know what we haven't gotten? How many people are using it?
Yeah. Right. So actually, Duplex sent me a report last night, this morning, I should say, because now I'm in Europe, which I haven't reported on yet, and I haven't even looked at, so I apologize for that. Normally, I would have jumped all over that, but I don't know if you can tell, I'm not at home, and not necessarily inclined to do too much work. I'll look at that later today.
Yeah.
I suspect it's a small number.
I would suspect it's smaller than Windows 10.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. So there's also Android 12L. I almost called it long, but it's supposed this is for. Well, there's speculation that Google is going to come out with their own foldable, and that this is some of the software that's laying the foundation for that device whenever it is or is not announced.
Yeah, well, it should benefit any large screen devices, traditional tablets, if there are still such things. Chromebooks, obviously, which can run Android apps. But yeah, I think I bet the impetus for this really was the foldable.
So yeah, that's really about the big highlights, other than just companies just raking in cash, and that's all there is.
There's gonna be more of it. Yeah, see, it is the season. You know, I think Spotify announced earnings, which I haven't looked at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else. I'm sure there's gonna be more. So I guess we'll look at Apple tomorrow.
Yep. And then you are flying home tomorrow. I believe we have covered this at a timeline that.
Not fully enough, because just before the show started, I asked my wife to check the timing, and I think I should be able to do it tomorrow.
Well, everyone's gonna have to sit.
I'll lay down on the ground somewhere and
just roll around in the grass in front of the Eiffel Tower with your wife just filming.
Right.
Here's Paul just soaking it in on the last day.
Yep. I'll do. It probably won't be as good as this.
No, I mean this is probably your most notable background.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been another notable episode.
A A-Notre episode, one might say.